But when you were at United, yes, you win the league. And then, when you start up the year after, Ferguson probably bring in 2 or 3 top players. So there was more competition for the places, but also the expectations level from the club, with the attention from everybody around the world, but also from Ferguson, because he did not accept any player to do less than their best.
Today's guest has played for his national team for 100 times. He's got 100 caps. He won the Premier League 4 times. The first one to win the Premier League with 2 different clubs. Basically, he won everything. He won the FA Cup. He won the Champions League, the League Cup, Intercontinental Cup. He was voted the best player in Norway in 1999. The Charity Shield, and the list goes on and on and on. Also, as a manager, he won in Poland with the Legia Warsaw the championship and the cup. And just welcome, Henning.
Yes, and we also finished first with Omonoia last
year.
Most important.
Yes, but you didn't lift the cup, so we're waiting for next year for you to lift the championship.
But we don't need. We don't need from everybody else to give us for what we did last year. We see the eyes of our supporters. We see how happy they are.
Yeah, definitely.
We know what we did last year. We know the feeling from our players, the staff inside the club as well. So we don't need, to be honest, people to give us something. We know what we did.
Of course you did. And also your name is written in the history of the club, because you are the first coach that qualified for the European stages of the Europa League. I know you wanted to qualify for the Champions League, but maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. But to be honest, I feel really privileged to be a coach of Omonoia, because it's been a great first year. The people I'm working with are top class. The players are top class. And it's been a big journey. And I think to be successful in football is not about 1 guy or 2 guys or 3 guys or 4. It's about team and how people work together, how we cooperate to make sure that we can be the best we can be. And this year has been, or the last year has been, very good in this way.
Okay. We're going to talk later on about Omonoia. First, before we start, I would like to really thank you personally, because I know you have a tight schedule. Also, Omonoia FC, and especially the president, who I know and I spoke to just to have this podcast with you, because we've been planning this for some days now, and fortunately, you've been very busy, so we managed to do that within your really busy schedule. What I want to ask you first is, why football? Why? Because in Norway, I know popular sport is ski, cross-country ski, you have handball, you have other sports. Why football?
To be honest, in Norway, the most successful sports are in the winter sports, the skis. And for sure, everybody goes skiing in the winter. All the families, when I was young, my mom and dad, they brought us out. We had to go ski from when we were 2 years old and go out every weekend. This is just how we are brought up. But the football is the most popular sport. That is what most people do in Norway as well, as in most of the world. So for me, as soon as I received my first football, I started to play in the garden with my friends and with my family, and it's been the biggest passion of my life, to be honest. From my interests, and I have had football in my life from I was 5, 6 years old, and now I'm getting very old and I still have football in my life. So it's difficult for me to imagine a life without football, to be honest. It's yes, I have family, which I love. I have people that I care so much for. But at the same time, if I don't have football, I will not have the same life. So for me, football is a big passion. It's a fantastic interest, and it gives me a lot of pleasure. It gives me a lot of work. It gives me a lot of things to do. And to be honest, as a head coach, there is unlimited what you can do. You just have to prioritize, because football is such a complex sport, and you are working with a big group of staff. You're working with a big group of players with different personalities, different characters. Football is also very complex in terms of tactics, team play, how you work together. There are so many issues. There are so many things. It's unlimited what you can do, and that's what excites me.
Have you been encouraged by your family? Has anybody in the family played football?
My dad was a winger in the Norwegian third division, I think.
Okay.
When I was not able to see. I was too young, but not on a professional level. No. So I think, and to be honest, there is a lot of talk now these days about sons of former players. In my generation, there are a few sons of these players that are very successful. Haaland is a son of a player I played with, Alf-Inge Haaland. And he is now, Erling Haaland is one of the best strikers in the world. And there is a discussion in Norway that is maybe because of his dad was in football, he helped him and he can learn him and he can teach him and this. But to be honest with me, I was quite happy that I did not were exposed to professional football when I was very, very young. Because if you see the seriousness of it, if you see the other side of the football too early, I think for many it could be a big problem. And the expectations level also is so much higher when your dad was a famous footballer. So I think it can go both ways. I think it can help you, but it can also make it sometimes a little bit more difficult.
Any of your children following your footsteps?
They have all played football. But at the moment, there is only the oldest one who still play. He plays in the Norwegian third division. He's 24 years old now, so he's thinking seriously if he wants to continue and maybe see how far he can go, or if he's going to do something else. But the good thing is that he loves football, and this is his biggest interest, and it gives him so much in his life to have football with his teammates, to train every day or 4 times a week, and to have the matches. This year, because of the virus, it has been season has been cancelled for them. It's a catastrophe. But football is a big passion for him, and for him to have this in his life is brilliant.
Does he ask your opinion, or?
Yes, for sure. And he also gives his opinion. And he's a mad Manchester United supporter, so he's at the moment now he's a little bit down, but in the spring he was a little bit more up. So he follows football, so he's have this big interest.
The population of Norway is only about 5 million, and there's at one stage, I don't know now, but there was a big contingent of Norwegian players in the Premier League. Of course, I know a lot of fans. They cross the the sea, and they every weekend there are a lot of people from Norway going to football matches in the Premier League, following the Premier League. Is that a big influence in Norway about the British football?
Yes, very much so. It started in the 1970s when they started to show British or English games every Saturday 4 o'clock, which was new and for sure big interest. Showed live on TV in Norway, and I remember in the 80s, every Saturday we were watching. My brother supported Liverpool, I supported United, and we were arguing every Saturday. We watched the game, and then we go out and we play ourselves, So it was a great for the Norwegian people to see English football and to have the interest. And even Leeds now has been like in the championship. We've been in League One for a long time, but they are one of the biggest Norwegian supporter groups for a long time, for many years,
Okay.
even when they were further down, because in the 70s Leeds were very good, and people continued to follow them.
Okay. So you started playing professionally for Vålerenga, and then for 3 years, and then you went to Lillestrøm. And from what I've read is that Henning Berg came to one international game against England, and you were not supposed to play. Pedersen was supposed to play, and then he showed an interest on you, and that's why you ended up in Blackburn. Is that true?
It is true. I think Dalglish was the manager of Blackburn at the time. They needed a right back. They were just got promoted to Premier League. I was with the Norwegian national team playing England in I think it was European qualification game. I just got into the national team, so I did not play regular in the beginning. I was disappointed. I did not start the match because I thought I should, as you do. My good friend Tore Pedersen, he started this match. After about 20 minutes, he had the challenge with Ian Wright, and he got an elbow ahead. So he was a little bit, he was down on the floor. The doctor is running out to check on him as they do. And then, you know, the doctors, they have this standard question. They ask, what is the score, blah, blah, blah. How are you? What is your name? And things like this to check if they are okay. And Tore said, yes. He said his name. He said the score is 0-0, which was correct. But the problem was for Tore was that our doctor, he did not follow the game proper. And he, because England had a lot of pressure and many chances, he thought England were leading. So when Tore says, no, it's 0-0, it's fine, it's no problem, he said, okay, Tore, sorry, you have a concussion, you have to go out. And then I was very quickly ready and sprinted out on the pitch. And I played the rest of the game. So I know Dalglish saw this match, and then they wanted me to come over for training later. I did train with them, and after that, they gave me an offer for contract. So the timing was right for you. Yes, the doctor. It was a good thing that he didn't follow the match.
So you gave the doctor a $5.
I gave him. I mentioned it to him later anyway. But to be fair, it's Tore. He got his chance with Blackburn later, so it was okay. But he came to Blackburn maybe 4 or 5 years later. Yes.
And then you won you played 159 times for Blackburn.
You are very good. You have done your background.
Yes, I've done my background. Yes, I forgot to mention that you played in 2 World Cups for Norway, apart from the 100 caps you have, and 1 Euro. So it was at the time when Norway was really flying to, yes. Because now it looks like it's in a transitional period.
This is true. We had a good team at that time. My generation, the 69, 70 generation, was a big group of players that played together with the under 19, under 21 national team, and then we got into the first team together, and it was great times. We also had a coach, Egil Drillo Olsen, who were ahead of his time. Tactically, we played more direct. We had a better zonal defense than other teams. We were very good on the counterattacks, and at that time, teams wanted to be very possession-orientated and feel the ball all the time, and we were the opposite. And
more direct.
Much more direct, and that gave us big results. We could compete against better teams.
You won against Brazil, if I remember right.
We played Brazil twice. We beat them 4-2 at home. They had Romario and Ronaldo up front, so it was difficult times. But we won 4-2, and our Tor André Flo, the Chelsea striker, he did really well in Chelsea as well, and he played the striker for us. I think he scored 2 goals, and the headlines the day after, it was not about Ronaldo, it was about Flo-Naldo. So, so it was good time. This was 1 year before we played them in the World Cup, because we were in the same group in the World Cup in 1998, and we had drawn with Morocco, we had drawn with Scotland. We needed to win to go through from the group. And we were playing Brazil in the 3rd group's match. And Brazil has not lost a group match ever before this. We won 2-1, we went through. and that was one of the best days with the national team. It was unbelievable.
So after you played for Blackburn and you won your first Premier League, then Man United came after you, and they had to pay for what I believe it was the second joint biggest transfer fee for a defender, £5 million. So it was another Scottish manager.
Yes,
So you had in 11 years in England and Scotland, you had 4 Scottish managers.
Yes,
Yes,
at least 3.
Plus, when you went back to Blackburn after Man United, it was Souness, and then Rangers was Alex
Yes.
McLeish.
Yes, and Ferguson.
And Ferguson, so 4.
Yeah, 4 years with
4.
English as well. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. I know. To be honest, there was a generation of Scottish managers that was very, very successful. Maybe not so much now, but this group of managers, they dominated in England.
Different breed.
I think they came from. They have a little bit different background.
Yes, the Scottish mindset is completely different from the English one.
Yes. Yes.
So,
no, and to be honest, they were all. Well, some of them are better than the other, but I'm very privileged to be able to have managers like this. Ferguson was top, Dalglish was top. I learned so much football from Dalglish. I learned so much how to leadership from Ferguson, his desire, how he worked, however it for me the 3 years to were there was top. The 2-3 years with Dalglish was also fantastic.
Yeah, but we're talking about 2 Liverpool legends and one manager that is considered till today probably the biggest manager in the world. Is it true that when you were winning the Premier League and you were going back for a pre-season, Sir Alex was trying to convince you to finish second and you have to finish first in the next year?
No. It's,
I've read it somewhere, that's
yes,
why I mentioned it.
No, but he was one of the best to motivate the players again after they won something. And when you are at Manchester United, you are expected to win. Especially when I came there, because then they have already started to win. So it was not when I was at Blackburn, we won the league. It was the first time Blackburn won the league since 1912. None of the players has won the league before.
Yeah.
Okay, Dalglish has the experience, but after we won the league, he went up to be a director, and the coach became the manager. Ray Harvard, top coach, but not so good manager. But as a coach, he was brilliant. And at Blackburn, we did not know how to behave, how to work, how to think, how to be after we won the league. You know, it was, I don't know if it was too much for all of us or the club or anything, but when you were at United, yes, you win the league. And then, you know, when you start up the year after, Ferguson probably bring in 2 or 3 top players. So there was more competition for the places, but also the expectations level from the club, with the attention from everybody around the world, but also from Ferguson, because he did not accept any player to do less than their best. If you did your best, if you tried your best, he will be okay. Yeah. If you did not, it will not be okay.
You joined United in 97, so it was after a few years when they started winning the Premier League, because before, for 26 years, they didn't win the championship, and it was a big burden for everybody. It's like now with Omonoia, because they haven't won the championship for 10 years. It was a big pressure for everybody. When the pressure is lifted, then you start getting into the winning mentality. And when you joined, I think it's they already had the experience and what to expect for.
This is true. This is true. But when you play for United, everybody knows every game. Everybody around the whole world will watch you. So it is not too many. It's not possible to hide. It's not. You have to be counted. You have to prepare. You have to do everything you can to be. And to be honest, the 3 years I was at United, I cannot say I was super happy the 3 years, even if I was at the best club with the best players and the best coach, because it was so hard work. You know, I needed to be at my absolutely best to even compete there. you know. So it was tough, and I have to play to my limit all the time because I was not that good, you know. Okay, if I'd been better, maybe I could have been more relaxed, but my quality was just on the borderline of playing for United, and some periods I did not play so much, and that was difficult for me as well because I was used to playing all the time. Looking back now, I'm thinking, why did I not feel better when I was there? Why was I not more happy? But this is how I was. I wanted to be the best I could be. I wanted to play. If I did not do, I was not happy.
And at United, you found two compatriots of yours, Ronny Johnsen and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Did that help you to get into the United mentality system much easier?
It did, because I played with both of them with the national team. Ronny, I played together with as a central defender, and Ole is a good guy as well. So it's a help. At the same time, I played in Premier League 3 or 4 years before this. Played against Manchester United every year. So I knew the players before I came as players, and then, to be honest, the rest of the group, they were good. They know how to handle when players come in. They know how to help. They also know when to be strong. So it was a very good group of players, and it got even better when Dwight York came the year after in '98. There was '97, summer '97, because my first year we finished second, and behind Arsenal. And it was like a funeral. It was not good. Nobody was happy. And then Dwight York comes in the summer, big signing, very happy, good personality, smiling all the time, just laughing and joking, and the whole dressing room was lifted. Even Sir Alex Ferguson, he was not happy. He was shouting at him, and Dwight is just smiling. And what can you do? You know. So
he comes from the Caribbean, so
I know, but yes, but he was brilliant. He was exactly what we needed in the dressing room. He was exactly what we needed on the pitch.
Sometimes you need this type of characters, to change the mood of the whole squad and and influence the squad. You didn't have the chance to play in the Champions League final and the FA Cup due to injury. And also, going back to what you said, you had the competition because Jan Stam came into the club. So it was another, for you, it was another, let's say, player.
Oh, it's a big competition.
Big competition, yeah.
And to be honest, when I came to United, it was Gary Pallister who was the #1 central defender. He was top, but he was getting a little bit older, and then Ferguson replaced him with Jaap Stam, and Jaap Stam came in for twice as much money as I came, and to be fair, he came as a #1. I came in as a central defender, but not as the #1. And Ronny Johnson was also a top central defender when he was injury free. I think one of the best ones in Europe at that time. Unfortunately, he had a little bit too many injuries, but he was a top central defender. So the competition was good. I played for those 3 years. I played 100 matches, which is not bad. But there were periods of time where I did not play. At the same time, the players were good. Ronny was my friend. Jaap Stam was a top guy, top personality. So we were all good to cooperate together. So we all get on. Even Wes Brown was a young kid coming up at this time, and he was also a big talent and started to do well.
What you said before about they welcome you really well. I remember, I don't know if it's true or it's publicity, but I remember Sir Alex kept saying that this is a family club.
Yes.
And we tried to how come a 1 billion a turnover club be at the same time to have the same values and be a family club?
I think that the biggest reason for that was Sir Alex Ferguson, because he was there when there were difficult times and they were able to change it. It took him 4 years and 4.5 years for him to win the league with the club, with the team. So it took some time. But when he started to win, then they started to continue to win and to be a top team for a long time. And I think his values started to change Manchester United in terms of how you work every day. He knew about the history, about Sir Matt Busby. He knew about the Busby Babes. He knew about the kids. He knew about the development, the youth players. So this was very important for him. But in terms of how you treat people, how you work, he did not need to talk about this when people came. It was more like they understood by how he was with people. And because he had this respect, there was nobody in that dressing room who tried to be bigger than what they should be. Because everybody had the respect of the manager, and he was able to keep the discipline, but also be able to give the confidence. And if you can do both of these things, then you are in a good place. And I think this respect showed among the players as well. So every time there was a player coming in, because the manager wanted him, he's accepted, and we are happy to have him. If they did not like the manager, if you have players come in, they would think, I'm not too sure about this guy. But there was nothing of these questions, because they trusted the manager and they believed in him, and they honestly thought that he knows what he's doing, and then all this become much easier.
So it's all about man management.
This is a lot about, not all, but a lot about man management. But man management is also how you keep a group together. You have group management,
Yes,
and you have man
course,
management. But with 25 players, you have 25 different personalities. Not 25 different ambitions, because the ambition should be for the team. But within the team, there will be individual ambitions as well. And for sure, that is what makes football such a great game, because you have so many different people, so many different characters, so many different personalities that needs to blend and needs to find ways to go together as a team. And I'm not saying sacrificing themselves, but understanding that in this way, it's actually the best for you as well. And to be part of the team is so much better than just to be an individual athlete who runs around in the forest or do marathons or whatever. You know, it's the feeling when you achieve something is so much higher. I imagine, I've never been an individual athlete, so I cannot say, but I would imagine that to win something with other people must feel better.
And after United in 2000, you went back to Blackburn on loan, and then on a permanently a few months later. And why it happened only 3 years when you spent only 3 years at United?
No, I think it was competition. I think in the end there were players that were better than me, and I did not play as much as I would like to. And then I was not happy. And even if I was at one of the best club, I needed to play football. So when I've been on the bench for too long and not played enough matches for a period of time, and then it was better for me to look somewhere else. I could have gone to Germany, but when Blackburn came back, they had been relegated to the championship, and then they were trying to get promoted again, and that was also very, very interesting to be part of, and then we got promoted. So that was also one of the best things I have been involved in as a football player, to come back to Blackburn. One thing that we won the league in '95, but then to come back and then being in the championship and then going up into the Premier League, and it was unbelievable.
And you won the League Cup in 2002, I believe.
Yes, this was also great. We played in the Cardiff Stadium because Wembley was rebuilt, but Cardiff Stadium is a fantastic stadium. We played Tottenham, big team. They had some big players, but we also had a good team. I think Andy Cole scored 1 goal for us, and yes, we maybe really be lucky. We won 2-1, and I'm very happy.
And after Blackburn in 2004, you moved to Rangers, where you ended your career. You played for 1 year with them.
Yes. It was towards the end of my career. To be honest, I wanted to continue at Blackburn, but I had a fallout with Sunes, so we did not agree on a couple of things, and I was put on the side. I did not play so much after that, and then because the team struggled, I had to play because they did not really want to go down. So he had to play me, and then I played for the rest of the season, the last 3 months, and did well. The team stayed in the Premier League, but my contract was running out, so I knew that it would not be another contract there, and then I needed to find another one. And to be honest, I was getting towards the end of my career. I still wanted to play more, so to go to Rangers, I was very happy with. To get another club, a new club with a big club. You know, Rangers are
it's a huge club in Scotland.
Huge club in Scotland with a fantastic history. And then we qualified for Champions League as well. So I actually, when I was at Rangers, we played Manchester United in the Champions League. It was very good. And when we played them at Ibrox, because the fans there, Omonoia fans are passionate. I would say the Rangers fans as well, they are close. They are not this level yet. They are very close. They are very passionate as well. And when we were standing on the pitch and you had the Champions League hymn or the song, you could not hear it because the sheer noise and the sheer volume of expectations from the fans, it was unbelievable. And I still got goosebumps when I think about it. It was, and the worst thing about it was that we played a good game. It was 0-0, and who scored a goal for Manchester United? You will never guess it. And you are a big United fan.
Who scored the goal?
Yes, for Manchester United. In the Champions League group stage. At Ibrox.
A defender?
Yes, Philip Neville.
Philip Neville.
It's the only goal he scored in his whole life. Unbelievable.
Actually, I was watching a video yesterday, and Gary Neville said that it's okay. We had the big part players, but we won so much at United because of all these fringe players and the average players like me.
He was not average.
I know. He was kidding. He said, he just said me, my brother,
yes.
And O'Shea, and
it's true because and I think this is part down to Sir Alex Ferguson, how he built the squad and how he rotated. He was the first manager to start to rotate and to put different players in for different games. But he could do it because he had built up a good squad and he knew the players and he knew how the players can fit together. So if we did not have this squad, it would not be possible to be so successful. And he's correct. There are many good players that does not have the same status as the big stars, but that did an unbelievable important job for United in this period.
Have you been doing your budgets during that time? Because, you had a long career, 16 years, and then you stopped playing the professional level in 2004. And then in 2005, you moved into management, 35 years old.
Yes. It was quick, but when I finished at Rangers, in my last year, I only had 1 year there. Then the season was ended in May. I played my last international that day, my 100 cap. It was fantastic. I finished my football career playing the first 20 minutes against Wales in my 100 cap as a gift from the national team because I missed the playoff against Spain the year before because of yellow cards. But for me to end my professional football career in this match, just play 20 minutes, walk off, and then I was done. So mentally for me, it was the best way to finish playing. Then I was finished. Then I started to do some my coaching badges in Norway. At the same time, I did some TV work with the European Championships and the Norwegian League. And then I think 9 months later or 10 months later or something like this, the Norwegian team Lyn came, which was a small club in Oslo, but with a good academy and an owner that helped the team a lot, not so much financially, but more to set up the structure and to bring the kids through and to have this and this. I was there for 4 years, and it was fantastic for me to be a head coach or a manager for in my first job as after a player, and it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. Some very good people to work with.
And then you moved to Lillestrøm for another 3 years.
Yes.
And then for a brief spell, sorry to remind you.
No, hey, I have many ups and downs. You did not mention all the mistakes I made as a player, so it's okay.
No, I mean, after Lillestrøm, you went back to Blackburn.
Yes.
For 57 days.
Yes.
Was it a sentimental decision? Because Blackburn were not doing that well at the time.
This is true. They've been relegated from the Premier League. For sure, they wanted to go up again, but to be honest, they did not have the squad, the experience, the knowledge to have been a team that has struggled in the Premier League, and then when they were in the Championship to dominate, to win games and go straight up again. It was not possible. I knew it would be very difficult, but when I've been at Blackburn for 7.5 years and been part of teams that have achieved so much, how could I say no to them? When they asked me if you want to be the manager in this period, I did not have a club, then it's not possible. So I knew it would be very difficult. I was hoping to have enough time to get to the January transfer window to make some changes. And then to push on. But I had no illusions. I knew the tough job. I also knew that with the owners at that time, you know, it would also be difficult. So, but okay, it was a learning experience for me. And to be honest, I did feel proud to be the manager of Blackburn because of my history with it, and because I know the great times of Blackburn before, and to be honest, I would have liked it to have gone a lot better. I think it would have been possible to turn and to maybe later to challenge, but in this short time, for sure, it was not possible.
So, as you said, there are always learning curves in our professional careers, in every job or profession. Of course, we have an example of Brian Clough, who only lasted 44 days at Leeds. So
I know. I think he had a different approach than me when they took over Leeds, because I know a lot. I read a lot about Brian Clough, and he's been maybe one of him and Sir Alex Ferguson, probably the two best managers in British football the last 50 years. Brian Clough, he won the Europa League or the European Cup with Nottingham Forest.
Yes.
He won the league with Nottingham Forest. Then he took Leeds, who had just become the league champions the year before.
Yes, with Don Revie.
Yes. And then he comes in and he says to the players, what you did last year was not worthy of winners. You were cheating, you did not do this, you did not do that. You cannot do this again, we have to change completely. And you tell this to a group of players who just won the league. It's not possible. So I don't know why he wanted to change the culture completely. But it was not possible to do. And then it was better for them to separate.
Especially he had a resistance from the older players. So it's
he chose the wrong tactics to change this culture. That is
but
for
Brian Clough is Brian Clough.
I know.
That's why the football lovers, really like Brian Clough and the history he created in the British football.
Unbelievable. He was one of the best. But it also goes that some managers and their philosophy and how they work fits better to some clubs than others. And how you play, how you work, for sure. And the culture has a lot to say. The culture at Leeds compared to Nottingham Forest was a big difference. And you need to find ways to handle this. If not, he's not going to be successful.
Yeah, definitely. So after you had a 2-year break, and then you were hired by Legia Warsaw in 2014.
1 year break.
1 year break.
Yes.
Okay. So my research is wrong.
No. But it was closer to one. It was just maybe 12 months, 13 months.
Okay.
Yes.
So you went to Legia, a big club in Poland. You won the championship in your first year, and then the cup in the second year. Looking at it, you're wondering what happened, and after 2 years, but you can always answer, this is football. But
this is football. No. To be honest, Legia was the first club I had as a manager or head coach, where we had a team that could compete at the top end of the league. This was the first time I could work similar to how I had been working as a player at United and at Blackburn in the first period. So it was a great experience to work there with the staff, with the players. We had a good team. It was a good team when we came. The team got better when we were there, and we had a lot of success. The first year, I think our win percent was unbelievable high. Unbelievable
64%.
high. Yes. The first year or in total?
I think in total.
Yes, but I think the first year it was even higher, because the first year we did not lose. We won more or less all the matches, so it was fantastic. But then we won the league.
Actually, your Omonoia percentage is lower.
I know, but when I came to Legia, we took over a team that was already very good, and we made it a little bit better. Here at Omonoia, we needed to make a new team.
Yeah.
Last summer, with all the transfers and how we played and everything, it was a new team. So the process is a little bit different.
We will come to that later on.
But with Legia, it was, we won the league, I think, with 10 points or something like that. We played Champions League qualifications. We beat Celtic 6-1 on aggregate, but because we had one player who played the last 10 minutes of the second match when the score was 6-1, and he was not registered, not for this game, but for the first 3 games, he did not play because of a suspension from last year, but he should have been on the 25-man sheet to serve his suspension. We know he could not play. He played league games in between, and still, because he played these 10 minutes, they kicked us out. Imagine how many money Legia lost for this. Imagine the dreams of our players going into Champions League to play there. It was a catastrophe. A fine I could understand, but for UEFA and Celtic to claim this, it's not about football. It's not correct. So, and I think now they changed the rules for this, so it will not be the same if it happened in the future with other teams, which is good. And then we qualified for Europa League. We won the 5 out of 6 matches in Europa League group stages. We went into the final. We lost to Ajax on aggregate in 2 matches, home and away. And then we won the cup in the league, but we finished second. No, we won the cup in Poland, but we finished second in the league. And that was a little bit disappointed. Lech Poznan won the league. They were good at that time. They've not been so good after. Now they are coming back. They beat, I think, Apollon 5-0.
Yeah.
Yes. So now they are a little bit back to what they can do. So, and then we qualified for Europa League group stages again. But when we did many changes to the team, many players out, many players in, and then we could not get as many points in the league when we focused on Europa League qualifications. So we got into Europa League, but we were points behind, a few points behind the top. And then the club decided that they wanted to change. Okay, I said, it's fair enough. They decided to hire me. They decided to sack me, and it's their decision. It's okay.
Do you feel there is no, the club management, the management of the clubs nowadays, they are not patient enough to see the progression of project or the development?
Some clubs are, for sure. Some clubs, and I think the clubs that with the best management.
Even in Premier League now, it would have been unheard of back in the day to get rid of the manager in the middle of the season.
I know. Yes, but I think there are clubs that are managing it very, very well, and I think they are the most successful teams, clubs. You see, Klopp, top manager, but it took him 4 years, I think, to win the league or the Champions League. You don't expect him to win the Champions League for sure. You expect him to compete to win the league, and this took them maybe 3 years to do. So it was a transitional time, even for one of the best coaches in the world. But I do think the clubs with the best management from the top are the ones that are most likely to be successful in the long run. They will make good decisions for coaches, for the players, and how you work as it, and put the culture down for the club.
You have to have the proper structure and clear lines of duties so that there is no interference and things like that.
Yes, but of course, sometimes it is the right thing to do to change the coach, because sometimes it's not working. Sometimes maybe the coach is not good enough, or maybe the chemistry or how is not fitting for this club, for this team. For sure, I'm not saying it's never, but I do think maybe a little bit too often it's the coach that has to go, where maybe there should have been other changes.
The coach is the easiest decision, and they always keep saying, "Oh, you cannot get rid of 30 players, so get rid of the coach."
If you want the short term, but there are
short term, you might change the psychology of the squad, but it's short term.
I know, and there are a lot of studies on this research, and most of them show that yes, sometimes you can have a short term change and better results, but in the long term, it is not better.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then you move to another country, Hungary, Honvent.
No, you have to check your research. Videoton.
Videoton. Sorry. You terminated your contract with them two matches before the end of the season. No. You were second in the division.
When I came to Videoton, they knew about the work that was done at Legia. They had played, because we signed a player from Videoton, Nemanja Nikolic. He was a top scorer in Videoton. We brought him to Legia on a free transfer. He did well with us for the 4 months I was working with him. And then when Videoton wanted a new coach, they were searching. They asked him, and he talked about how we worked, me and Kas, and how we worked at Legia. And okay, they wanted us. So when we came to Videoton, I think they finished second, I think 13, 14 points behind Ferencváros the year. So the goal was to be closer to Ferencváros. We finished the league second, but 2 points behind Budapest Honved. That is where Honved come in, I think. And 6-7 points ahead of Ferencváros.
But you lost your main centre forward in January, who went to China, and you could sign somebody else.
No.
Not exactly.
Not exactly. This was with Legia. With Legia,
so I got mixed up.
But I will tell you the story. With Legia, after 1 year, we had unbelievable results. Then our best player, Miroslav Radovic, before we came, he was the playmaker. When we worked with him, we put him as a top number 9. He became the top scorer. He became the most assist. He became the most influential player in our team. Then, after 1 year, he did really well with the whole team. Played good in Europe and top. Then he got an offer from China. He wanted to go. I understand. The problem for us was that we were not able to replace him. It was just before the window closed. With him in the team, I am sure we would have won the league the second year as well, where we finished 1 or 2 points behind Lech Poznan. And we were not able to bring a replacement for him. These was the 2 biggest issues. When we were at Videoton, we did okay, but our top scorer, he did not play all the time. He was in and out of the team, but he was still a top scorer. He was sold to South Korea because he wants to go and get a better contract, and the club was very happy to let him go. I was not too happy because I knew he scored goals, and I knew we needed to replace him. We tried to replace him, but the guy that came in needed more time. He was young. He was a talent, but he was not ready. And then we played Budapest Honved on the final day of the season, away from home. At that time, if we drew, they would win the league. If we win, we would win the league. And in the end, they won 1-0, they won the league, and then we finished second. But okay, it was, we made the gap much closer. We were fighting, we were very close to win the league, and to be honest, from a football point of view, that year with Videoton was good. The only reason we did not continue was that when we sat down after the season, I said, if we want to be successful again, we need to make this change, and this change. And I knew if we did not make it, we will have problems. And then the club said, no, we cannot do this. And then we decided it's better to walk each other's way.
Okay. And you went back to Norway, Stabaek, for a brief period, and
yes, it was one of them, because I think it was 1 year. I had interest from many clubs from far away and some a little bit closer, but not clubs I wanted to join, because I don't really want to go to a club just to be there. If I want to go to a club, it has to be something special.
I've heard you had some offers from Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan or some country like that.
Yes, and others, and others. But okay, I did not want to go. I did not want to go to Australia. I did not want to go this way or this way or this way. And I did not find a club that I would do in Europe. So when I did not work, and I was thinking, it's no good to just sit there. And when Stabaek called, is from my hometown in Norway, Oslo. Small team, again, a little bit like Lyn, best academy in Norway, many good young players, but it with big problems in the league, struggling to stay in the league halfway through the season. So I thought, yeah, I can go there. I can help them stay in the league. And then I also made sure that if there is another club from outside that want me, I can go. So this is what happened. And it was a very good experience. It's the first time I've been with a club that needs to stay in the league, to fight to avoid relegation. And we actually ended up playing a playoff game to stay in the league, which with the home and away, and we stayed in the league. So,
play out.
Yes, a play out.
Play out.
Yes. So it was a very good experience and a different kind of experience, but it was good. And then 6 months later, when I was working with Stabaek and we were starting the second season, then Omonoia came, and for sure, when I spoke to the club and the people there, then I wanted to join.
You were inspired by the project?
I was. Not so much what you said, but no, it was good. It was good people. They had a good, clear plan. It was very clear what they wanted to do. The history of the club is also was very positive. The longer history and with the support of the fans from before, and that this was a project that is possible to do something. And to be fair, it's been as good and even better than I expected when I came.
Okay. I know I told you privately, because I was involved in the process, that when the CVs were kept coming to this famous email address that Simos mentioned, Tarabuluzzi, the other day, and they were forwarded to me. Simos, knowing my, my love for Man United, says, "So you're going to choose this guy Henning Berg?" And I said, "No. If he's good for Omonoia, we're going to choose the best coach. Otherwise," and basically, what we studied, we had a clear criteria of what the club wanted to the new coach to be, to fit into what you just mentioned in the plan, and what we have discussed in the last 45 minutes or so. This is what made the decision clear. Basically, your experience in outside Norway. It's the first time I'm saying this in public, but it's good for people, and the fans to know how these things work. And you won a championship in Poland, the cup. You had the experience in Hungary, which was it was very important, apart from your experience, as a professional footballer, which at the time, because of the club was in a transitional period, and in my opinion, still in a transitional period.
Everything is a transitional period.
Yes, and where the development stops. Sometimes when I keep listening to your press conference that they will make a good progress, development, and in my mind, where the development stops, there is no, it doesn't stop at the end of the day, because, everybody says I'm a perfectionist, but still there is something which is better, and the progress doesn't stop. So all this combined was very easy to have your name on the shortlist, to be honest with you, and it was very important. Of course, the personality plays a role. and all these, because 5.
Good thing I got the job done. Huh?
Yes. Yes, it was a strict process. It was a strict process, and because we wanted to make sure that we minimize the risk, because this was a new project, as you know, and also the club won a cup in 2012, 8 years before, finished twice the 2 previous years on the 6th place. So we needed to start putting the pieces together of this puzzle, because it was a big puzzle, in order to get Omonoia Football Club into the next stage. Going back to some of the things, I want to get more into how the club works and the team, especially the team in your case, and how the modern footballer behaves, because back in the day it was a different breed of players. Nowadays, new generation, different mentality, different mindset. And also one thing that I want to touch upon is you played with the famous class of '92, Man United, and now everybody here on the island is talking about, the Berg's Babes, the way you mold these young players to have a proper professional career. Do you see yourself as a mentor, as the teacher, as their father? How do you keep them grounded? These are all things that concern a lot of people, because it's a small society in Cyprus, and it's very easy to get sidetracked.
I consider myself as a head coach. My job is to try to make the team the best it can be, to improve our players together with the rest of the staff. We have some very good people in our staff. I took my assistant Kaz Sokolovsky with us. He's a big part of in development these young players. He's one of the most football clever people I know. He has an eye for detail and good solutions to help to improve the players on the individual level. So for me, and these players are talented players, and they are training now with our first team. And when they train with Jordi Gomez, they train with Vitor, they train with Michael Lüftner and Adam Lang, for sure. If they don't improve, then something would be wrong. So there are many things that they need to do and work, and we are trying to do everything we can for them to be the best they can be, and for the team to be the best can be. But I am the head coach, and I try to look after Jordi Gomez and Fotis as well, as much as I can, to make them to be their best they can be. Not only me, the rest of the staff. And we have a good staff, and we have good people in the club that, okay, I talk here now, but this is a team game. Like I said from the start, football is a team game. There are many people who are improving and helping the end product. The end product is the first team's results. And to get this end product, you need to improve how we play together as a team. You need to improve the individual quality of the players. And then sometimes also you need to find players from outside to help you achieve your goals and to improve the team. So there are many factors that will influence the end results. And as a head coach, I am more involved in many of the factors, but I don't do the work. I don't do all the work. We have so many people.
Yes, I know that. I know, and we need to explain here. There are different. The sports science support team consists of a lot of people.
We have a top fitness coach in Leo, with his staff as well, with Savas and Tanasi. They are really professional.
Yes.
They have a lot of quality.
Thanasis, who is doing the performance analysis.
Yes, but also helping out with when we work with the players on the pitch as well. So it would not be possible to be successful if we did not have these people. At the same time, we have a good medical team who are up to date, who have a lot of knowledge, and who work day and night to help the players, for them to be their best they can be. We have dietitians who work to help the players so they know what to eat and when to eat it and how they can prepare themselves. And with the lockdown as well, we had extra issues as well. With the virus now, we have extra issues that we need to take care of. We have top team managers who make sure that everything is organized. Isabella is doing a great job. It would not be possible for this team, for this club to be successful if she did not do what she is doing every day. This is so important.
I always keep saying that the most important people at the training ground are the kitmen.
For sure.
Just to emphasize that every single member in the team, surrounding the team, is very important for the smooth operation of the squad.
Yes, this is correct. And we have a big staff and many good people, hardworking people with a lot of knowledge, and the kitmen as well. They are the one that make sure that the day-to-day organized within is spot on. And not only that, they are good guys. You know, they have good values. You know, they are not young kids. They have grown men with good values. They are Omonoia supporters, mad supporters, but top professionals.
Yes.
And to have this, what can I say, heart, to have these values, to have this professionality together with the Omonoia feelings and the heart.
Yes.
It's a
to be able to distinguish the profession from being a supporter of the club.
Yes, but if you can combine
separate the two.
But if you can combine that,
it's ideal.
That the professionality with the right passion is perfect, and we have that. So I am so pleased with how the staff is working.
Also, you mentioned the video analysis and Kyriakos' role in the team as well.
For sure, you know, we have many people. Kyriakos is doing a good job to make
Simos, Larko,
for sure,
a lot of people.
Many people, and if we don't have this staff, it would not be possible to have the success that we have been having now. And I don't like to talk about the success we've had, because we are not finished. You know, we are in the middle of the season now. There's no point to talk about this. This
is why I said before, it's a transitional period.
Yes, and we need to continue to work in the best possible way as we are doing. We are so happy that things are going well, but we need to continue. This is the main
and also people to understand that the coach and the players, they get the share of the limelight, but there is a big number of people behind the scenes that are working 24/7 in order for the team to be successful.
It would not be possible if they did not do that. And again, I also have to, for the players, how they are together. You know, the chemistry we have in the team spirit, the values that we have in the team is very, very good. We have good players with good attitudes, good personalities, and this is also a big help for us to be as good as we can be together.
Also, I guess it's very important to have a settled management and clear structure at the club, and have a clear plan to go forward.
Yes, for sure. I think the most important thing is that everybody know in which direction we want to go. Everybody has a good communication, that we can speak to each other, and we do speak to each other a lot. We don't need to wait if there is any issues, and we have planned meetings regularly to make sure that we can communicate and there are issues that we can discuss. We all have our different tasks, we all have our different roles and responsibilities, but we need to discuss and to share and to find the best possible solutions. And I think from the president at the top, with Larko and with Simos and with the rest of the administration as well, and the staff, then I think is a good cooperation. It's a very good cooperation.
last year was your first year in Cyprus. You didn't know the territory. You look more reserved. This year, you look more relaxed, even though looking at you at the bench, you feel so passionate, and you are always in the zone. How many kilos do you lose after a match? because so much energy is lost.
I don't check, but if I'm relaxed now, it's only because there's no match at the weekend. It's an international break for me now, so we don't have a match. That is more. I don't think I am much different to last year. I know more about Cyprus football. I know more about our players. I know more about the other teams, but at the same time, I also know about the difficulties. I also know about how hard work it is,
yes,
and how much hard work it's going to be in the future. Because for us, nobody will give us anything. We have to fight for everything, and we are doing that, and we accept that, and we will continue to do that. But it will be very, very hard work. But the good thing for us, if we work together, if we are good, then we can be successful, because we do have a potential.
Yeah, and also there is a fine line between success and failure. So people need to understand that this is not black and white. There are gray areas. So it's and a lot of hard work, as we mentioned before, in order to be able to succeed and continue this success process.
For sure. And we are often judged on our results. But when we analyze our games and we look at our performances, for sure sometimes you can win a match, but you don't really play very good. And there are many things in the game you would like to do better. At the same time, you can draw a game or lose a game, but there are many things in this game that you do really well. So this is our job, to make sure that we understand our situation, even if we are winning or losing, so that we can continue to improve, because we know the better we perform, the more likely we are to have good results. At the same time, we know how football is. There is small margins, there is luck, there is not luck, there is coincidence that can happen. We play Olympiacos, we get the penalty against us in the playoff of the Champions League. How is this possible? You play Champions League playoff, and we are so unlucky to get a wrong penalty against us, which not the referee, I can understand, did not see, but for VAR not to see it, I don't understand. And when you have a situation like this in such an important game, when to be honest, it's 0-0 and it's not much in the game, they were better than us, but it was 0-0. Then, this is football. This is the environment we live in. And then all you are trying to do is to make sure that these small things can go your way with better performance and a good focus and mentality. And then you have to accept sometimes that there will be wrong decisions, but this is the world we live in.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to 1999, in 2 minutes, even though Bayern were much better than United, and in 2 minutes, the history changed.
I know. Yeah, sometimes it goes for you, and sometimes it goes against you. And I'm not saying Olympiacos are a better team than us. There is no doubt. Over the 2 matches, in total, their performance, they were better. But if you look at the situation that decided the match, it could have gone the other way for us.
Talking about the VAR, I think what they have in England, even though when they introduced VAR, they were criticized the way they were handling VAR. I think now it's much better in the sense that, because the rule says that if the referee is 100% sure about the decision, he cannot. If he doesn't want to go to VAR, he's not going to go to VAR. But now you see in England, even though they give a clear penalty, they always go to VAR. If they give even an offside decision that led to a goal, again they go to VAR. Maybe this is the process to go ahead, because I'm all for it, for technology into sports, but this confused a lot of people, and especially when you are in the ground and you don't have the screen, right? Then your team scores a goal full of ecstasy, and then they take it away from you in 2 minutes. It's bad.
It's bad. So it's a difficult subject, because I think everybody involved in the sport, the professionals and the fans and everybody, We would like it to be as fair as possible. And with the game going so quick now, and to be honest, the referees, they have a very, very difficult job to do. I think it's the most difficult job of all, to make sure that you make good decisions. Although it's not possible. Everybody makes mistakes. Coaches, players,
it depends
referees.
on the angle.
It's
it depends on your position in the.
But it's difficult for the referees.
Yeah.
So to have VAR to help them, I think is good. And then it's just to find in which situations and how they help them. Because to have the referees to go and watch the screen to double check an important decision, if it's a goal or a penalty, I think is good. But then I think the referee should have the responsibility to make the decision when he watches the screen. It should not be some guy up in the VAR room that don't normally referee matches. Because remember, who is in the VAR room? He's not the best referee is not sitting there. The best referee is on the pitch. That's why he's on the pitch. So give him the technology. The guys in the studio, they can advise him to say, this looks a little bit different from our view. Maybe you should go and have a look at the monitor and see what you think about it, and you can decide. If we can have it in this way, I think it would be easier. And we don't need him to go there all the time. We need him to go there for the big decisions.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I said they had the difficulties last year. And this year they introduced the monitor in the Premier League, which makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference. But what they say now in Premier League is that they only ask the referee to go to the monitor when they see in the bottom that he's made a big mistake. So every time we go to the monitor, the referee will change his mind. I don't think it should be like this. I think it should be, if they think he made a mistake, it should not be automatically for him to change his mind just to go there to show his. He should go there with an open mind and see, in the context of the game, how much contact he has allowed, how everything is, and then he should be free to decide what it should be. This way or this way.
What I don't understand, shouldn't all these be streamlined, have the same, rules across the board everywhere, so that people don't get confused? Because it's supposed to be, it was introduced to help the sport, and it creates a lot of confusion.
It shows that it's difficult for the referees. It also shows that in terms of the rules, in terms of how you interpret it and how you see it. It is very difficult. So and I understand that is a little bit confusion. The more clear we are, the better. But I think the referee has to be the number one. And if he's not sure about some decisions, big decisions, he should have a monitor to go and see the replay, and he make the decision, not these two young guys in the VAR.
Let's go to another subject, modern day football. Nowadays, most of the teams are so organized. It's not like back in the day where you had, an attacking team. It was a 5-3 score because I could score more goals than you, and I was not so much, cautious about defending. Nowadays,
did you see Premier League last weekend?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. We were playing 10. No, actually, Spurs were much better than United. But at the same time, Aston Villa was a big upset, 7-2. And going back to what you said before, this is football. Yes. That's why we love it.
Yes, true.
What I was trying to say is that nowadays, in the last few years or so, defending starts from your center forward. And it's not, okay, you are in a club now where most of the fans grew up. It was part of the DNA, free-flowing, attacking football. Let's score 8 goals, 9 goals, 5 goals. It doesn't work like that anymore. And what I have seen the last few months since you joined Omonoia is that you have a proper structure in the team, and everybody is defending. It's not like so. And
everybody's attacking.
Everybody's attacking. Yes, I was going to say that. So how difficult was it in the first period, the first few weeks, to transfer these to your squad? So you had to work really hard.
I think when you come to a new club as a coaching staff, me and Kaz when we came, for sure we have our own ideas how we want to play. We look at the history of the club, we look at the players that we have available, and we try to find the best way of playing with this team to get the best possible results. And we have our ideas and what we think is the most effective way to play as well. And then we try to find this solution. But in general, I would say that when we don't have the ball, we have 11 defenders. And when we have the ball, we would like to have 11 attackers. I think team play for us is very important. How we cooperate, how people understand, how they play, how they can cooperate, and how their positions are, and how we as a team can play the best possible together. But for sure, teams are different. If we had Zlatan Ibrahimovic as a striker, I am sure our defending would have been different. Because with some players, you have to adjust. Because or if you have Messi, because you cannot defend in the...
Messi is probably the only one footballer in the world right now who's not defending.
No, he's defending. When he was with the Guardiola, he was defending top. When they wanted to win back possession after they lost it, he was top. But for sure, he's not the one to play a little bit deeper and to play a 4-4-2 defending or to be in this type. No, and Zlatan not either. So if you wanted to have these players in the team, because you would like to have a Zlatan in the team, because you know what he can score goals and how good he can be the other way, and then you need to find other ways to defend. And football is not static, and there are many ways to be successful, and there are some ways to be not successful as well. But for every coach, every team, every club, they need to find their solution, what is best for them. And the principles are often more similar, but not maybe always the
well, as you said, it depends on the caliber of the players you have.
We have some ideas of what we think are the most effective way of playing football, and we have some ideas how we can play together as a team. But for sure, the different qualities of the players will also influence more precisely how you do things.
Yeah, but the most important thing is to get 100% out of each player, which it needs a lot of work, in the training field and to apply during the match.
For sure, and this is a difficult part of a coach as well, because you need to be able to adjust, but at the same time you cannot adjust everything, because then you will lose your way of working and what you think is the most effective. And sometimes you can have a good player, but because of his qualities, he does not fit into the rest of the team together with the other players, and maybe he will not play. And maybe you have another player, more average player, that people think, he's not so good, but because you have these type of qualities, he's perfect for your team. So this is also something that we need to take into consideration.
That's why it's an exciting puzzle to get 26, 30 players in a squad to work in the same direction. You probably know my sensitivity about the academy players, even though you diplomatically avoided the answer I wanted. In Cyprus, we don't often see 16-year-old kids to play a big role in matches. They're a big part of the development process, and it's the first time, I'm sure you heard about it, that what you are doing now with Omonoia.
What we are doing.
What you are doing.
What we are doing. Omonoia.
Yes, is a team that is going for the championship. That's the important thing. It's not the medium-sized club. It's a team that is going for the championship, and these kids they play a role in the team. They are not in the fringes, and you just give them 20 minutes or 15 minutes. And of course, I know your way of thinking. That if they are not ready, they're not going to play. It's a fact. Yes. And you don't care about the big part players. It is a squad, and there is a team that needs to have the results and be successful. So if you feel that a 16-year-old kid is going to influence the game, then you're going to use that player. But the amazing thing is that they made a huge progress, not just during the matches. You can see that their physicality change. They are stronger. They are so all these progress, right? How do you see? I'm not going to ask you again. How do you keep them grounded? Because everybody is going crazy now in Cyprus, and they have to be grounded. Otherwise, they will get sidetracked, and they're not going to have the career they are thinking of having. But is another mini project within your squad? No,
I don't think so. I think all our players, when they are in the first team squad, they are there to play, they are there to compete, they are there to do everything they can to be the best they can be.
They are there because they deserve to be part of the squad.
For sure.
Okay, I wanted to clear that out because in Cyprus we are not used to, even nowadays, a 24-year-old Cypriot player, we keep saying, he's a talent, So and they don't understand how come a 17-year-old kid be in an Omonoia team that is going for the championship. And that's why I wanted to clear this out for the people that are going to be watching this episode.
Yes, okay, we are very happy to have good talents in our squad and coming from the academy that have been training with us now for a while, and we are also getting other players that is improving and that is training with us. But for the players that has played for the first team this year, most of them of the young players, they are in our squad. They are competing at the same level and standards and expectations than the others. I don't look too much about how old they are or how young they are. I look more about what they can do. And for sure, it's good to have experience. But experience is not everything. Some can gain experience very quickly, and others a little bit slower. And football is always a process. There is different types of development throughout the years. And for some kids, they can go like this, and then there will be a time when it go a little bit like this, and then before it goes up again. And this is normal. But in terms of how we train and how we work and what we would like them to do to achieve and to improve as a player, it's more constant. This is everyday work to improve, to be the best you can be. And then we will decide who's going to play or not, but it's what you do in the training, is your improvement, your development is going to decide who's going to play or not. To be honest, I don't pick the team. I don't. The players, they pick the team themselves. Because
during the week.
Yes, what we see in the training. Yeah. So they cannot say they decide themselves in what they're doing in training.
So they have to excel every single day, every single minute during the training sessions.
No, but okay, we have different types of training. We have some trainings where we do this and other trainings where we do that. So, but for sure, okay, I decide the team, but in a wider sense, and really, is they who decide, because we watch the training, we work with them, and then we see what is going to be the best thing.
It's not as simple as that, because you study your opponent, so you need to decide on your tactical, how tactically you want to play in that match. So
this is correct. Okay, sometimes you have the opposition who will maybe decide a little bit which player you will use, but not too many times. The most important thing for us is how we are and what we do.
I don't want to get into details, but when I hear about the starting 11, because I study the opponent, I understand why some people are playing and some others are not in the starting 11. because okay. I know you by now. To be in a sense, I know how you're thinking, and I understand that some people are asking me, "What do you think would be a starting 11?" And I don't want to say, but I because it's me, it's not. I'm not a normal football supporter, as you know. So I know if the opponent's likely starting 11 is going to be like this, I'm trying to get into your head and say, okay, he will start with this, and that. And
we don't change that much, to be honest. Maybe we should start to do. Last year we were quite consistent in the team selections because we were early in the project. We needed to learn more how to play as a team, and to be fair, the competition last year was not as good as it is now. Now we have a bigger competition. We have a wider squad, and more players are ready to play than they were last year. Now also we have 2 games every week, which you need to
have
change.
the rotation.
You have more rotation, and you need to change. And then is more which players to use for which games. This comes much more into it now than what it did last year.
Okay, but last year you had 1 game every week, so it was
different.
It was different. So now this year, the physical training part is different because you play 2 matches a week, and we have the travels, difficult travels, the logistics. People don't understand the logistics. You had so many COVID-19 tests. and
it's good to test. It's good to test, and I'm so happy that we do a lot of tests because we played in Europe now. I am more surprised that other teams in Cyprus in the top league don't test as often as the protocols say they should do, and I'm very surprised that they don't do, because when we play teams in Cyprus and they are not tested, we don't really know. We know that we are okay, because if we have a case, we will find out because we are tested so often.
Yes.
We had the situation now with 2 other teams that suddenly they had so many players infected, and if they had tested more often, I am sure they would have found that before.
Because this virus, to be honest with you, you need to do a lot of testing, because you test negative now, tomorrow maybe you're not negative. So, but the thing is where do you stop? It's a very difficult part of the for any club.
I think for us it's been easier now because we are tested before every European match, and then we are also tested when we fly back, when we come back into the country. So we have done so many tests, but it's good. The problem is, I think the protocol says that all the teams has to be tested before they play the league matches, but they don't do. And for me, this is a surprise. If we don't have the testers for financial reasons, okay, it's not good. But then at least there is a financial reasons for it. I don't think it is. I think they have the test available, and I think everybody should be tested 2 days or the day before they play the match to know that everybody is okay for this. And then at least you can minimize it. More than what we've been doing.
Yes, and I believe so too, because and the federation, I know they are looking at it. They need to look into it more closely, because if we have a spread in other clubs as well, then there are so many days in a week. So how is the championship going to finish?
I know.
It's a big problem.
Yes, now they cannot cancel too many more matches, but then you end up with some teams playing with team that is nowhere near their quality. Like you had Salamina now and Ethnikos, they have so many new players in their teams. So for sure, the opposition would not have the same opponent to play against, and is that fair for the competition? Would it not be better to make sure that we test a little bit more often, that everybody should have a test 2 days before the match or the day before the match, to make sure you can at least take away and you can stop if there is something going on. You don't have 20 players, maybe you have 2 or 3. And that is a big difference.
Yes, I fully agree with you. Henning, it's been...
You finished?
Well, we can, between you and me, we can talk until late at night, but you have to go to...
You can talk till late at night.
No, I think you are competing really well with me, because you're a good competitor. I know you have to go to the training session, and I would really like to thank you. I just felt this channel, this internet channel, is to give exposure to different sports apart from football, and also for people to get to know really closely high performance athletes, which I consider you have been, and learn more about the insights of the sports. And really, I know your tight schedule, and I would like to really thank you again about having this discussion, this podcast with you.
Thank you for inviting me, and it's good to talk. For sure, there are many things I cannot say with a little bit confidentiality, how we work and everything like this. But no, it's been good to talk to you, and yes.
I think we haven't said anything that is not known, apart from the process when you were hired for Omonoia. But thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.